Hello, welcome to the Wasting Time podcast. I'll not say Happy New Year because I think we're past the cut-off for that. But this is our first episode of 2026, so it's good to be back with you guys. Just by myself today. Nick's got a lot going on this week. Him and his wife Lucy are expecting the birth of their second child this week, so big shout out to them. So obviously he has his hands tied and is very busy. So I'm just going to hop on here solo and do this. So for our first episode of 2026, we have our old friend Steve Soboslai for, I think that's how you say your surname, Steve. Apologies if I'm saying that wrong. Steve's from the band Punchline. Punchline, big friends of ours, based in Pittsburgh. Obviously, we now have the Pittsburgh connection, so that's kind of cemented our friendship even further, I feel. Since we spoke to Steve, Punchline have announced that they're going out on tour with the Early November and Hello Goodbye, which is a huge tour. That begins next month over in the States, so check out Punchline's Instagram for dates on that. Steve wanted to come on and chat to us about the most recent Punchline record, Somewhere to Land, which was one of mine and Nick's favourite albums of 2025. It came out same weekend as Four Chord. So we spoke to him a couple of months after Four Chord to kind of really get into the album. And as huge Punchline fans, we were all about this. So we're going to talk about the album quite a lot in this interview. Let's join our chat where we are in the middle of our post Four Chord discussion. Here it is.
Yeah, I thought the venue was great this year.
I really like it. We didn't play last year when it was at Kerry Furnace. In the previous year, we didn't play on the day where there was the big storm. So we've been pretty lucky with our Four Chord weather record.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Rishi always says that, like, with Pittsburgh, there's no perfect location. There's always a compromise in some area, whether it be like location or like site, because the site was amazing, like for this year. But I think it was a bit of a challenge, like being so far out of the city. There's a bit of a toss up for him. So don't know where his head's at for next year. But
was it a good experience for you guys?
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah,
it was. Yeah.
That's a lot of work coming out to Pittsburgh for that.
Yeah, it's true, but it's a fun time. I mean, yeah, it was an intense few days. It was probably the most work for our third guy, Greg, who does like all our video and the video editing and stuff, because like he was then tasked.
Let's hear it for Greg.
Yeah, I think Greg deserves that.
Definitely does.
Greg. It was a super special experience for me and the Punchline guys. If I could speak for them, I think we all had a really great time. I think we benefited from being local to the festival and not being. We took full advantage of not being tired from doing festivals every day. A lot of these bands you see, like, they're out, they're in the depths of touring right now, and everybody looks pretty tired. So we were spry, and we were just happy to have all of our friends and family around and just make the most of the day. And really, with tying it into our new album that had just come out, is kind of the pinnacle of the new album release and getting to roll that out to everybody. It's super fun. There's nothing like being in a band and putting out a new album.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that properly in a sec. But just on the subject of Four Chord, it was a pleasure to kind of witness that, that hometown thing that you guys had.
Cool.
Were you there? Because we saw Chris on the Saturday, like he came and he sought us out and found us at Jimmy Eat World. So we saw him, but didn't see you around on the Saturday, Steve. Did you?
I was not there on Saturday. I just feel like to keep the voice fresh, had to not talk to people all day. It's hard to go to a place like that. I know, everyone I know is there, so
of course
I had to stay back. But I wish I could have gone and seen Jimmy Eat World. Would have been really cool.
Yeah. And I suppose you did. Sorry, Nick, just real quick. You did a few shows with like Hit the Lights and the days building up to it as well.
Yes.
So I guess you needed that rest.
Yes.
Sorry, Nick. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, like, kind of. I mean, what was it like? Kind of you talked about like just taking night off just to make sure you were right for Sunday, like, and obviously you've been away for a little bit. You come back to a few warm-up shows, I guess, in the build-up to Four Chord. Like, I mean, how do you feel going into that Four Chord weekend? Are you quite anxious?
I feel there comes a point where you can't practice heart transplant anymore, and you just know how to play the song. And really, playing shows is about being well rested and getting in a good mindset before you go on stage, and like making it a nice. I mean, I really like to make it a nice time with our band and have our friends around. We do some hacky sacking, we do some warming up, and I just think if you can make it a party, you know, with your band before you go on stage, and like take that out there with you, that's a big difference with playing now versus like back in the day. I mean, I think it was always pretty fun, but I'm just very aware now of how important it is to not only be like well rehearsed, but just to get in the right mindset to go out and do your thing.
Was it heart transplant that you brought the old drum? Did the old drummer come out for that song?
Yes.
That was a
that
nice
was super
moment.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Corey, our drummer, has been out on tour with another band called Lakeview the last year. So they've been touring a lot, and we love Corey. Like, I think that he should play drums for the Foo Fighters or something. He's really that good to be the type of guy who goes out and does, you know, those kinds of tours. And we're blessed to have him as a drummer. And it's kind of a cool, you know, not the worst scenario, because when he can't play shows, our original drummer, PJ Caruso, who's like my best friend, he's my best friend, one of my best friends. You know, I don't got to put a, you know, like label on it. You know, you don't have to have just one, but
second best friend
gets to play. He comes back and plays drums for us. So it's I miss Corey, but when Corey's not there, PJ's there. And a lot of times when Corey's there, PJ's there too. So Corey said, you know what? I would love for PJ to come out and play a song at Four Chord. And he didn't have to do that. You know, I think a lot of bands might handle this scenario and it's a complicated scenario. And to me, it's really sweet that it feels like our band is a community of people. And when one guy can't do it, another guy is there to do it. And at times I feel like, wow, we kind of had two drummers this year. And I like that it works out that way.
I'm talking to PJ. How's your 2-year-old Leo feeling after being hauled on stage in front
that
of
was his
thousands
his
of
first,
people? Has he done all right after that moment?
Punchline show, and I wasn't sure how he was going to take it, and I gave him a shout out, and PJ picked him up and carried him across the stage, and started like him or somebody started a Leo chant. I'm like, oh man, it's gonna go to his head. But he's taking it okay. He's still talking about the festival, and it's interesting.
Oh, nice.
Interesting how he knows where the video of that is in my phone. But it's interesting just how kids develop in their memories. You know, I'm still trying to get it out of him, like it's if he's having dreams. He just turned 3, but I can't confirm that he's, you know, that we've communicated about dreams. I'm sure he's having them, but I don't know.
Yeah. My 2-year-old woke up in the middle of the night the other day and said she wanted honey. So I think she was dreaming. I'm pretty sure she was dreaming about honey. So,
yeah, mine will say that he dreamt about Myrtle Beach, but then that's all he ever says that he dreamt about, and that seems unlikely.
But just staying on the Four Chord thing for just momentarily, it was. I think I can speak for Nick as well. Like, we watched your full performance and very much enjoyed it because obviously we did the on-site interview with Chris and Trevor, because that was just obviously you arrived just as we were wrapping that up, I think. But we were telling them that, and I think because you came on the podcast about 4 years ago, and we probably said this at the time, but we'd only both seen you once before, which was on that MXPX Get Go tour many years ago. So it'd been a long time. Newcastle. We were both, because I was living up where Nick's based at the time, and we went to that show, which was.
I have a memory. When I think of that show, I think of being in sort of a grand room that was not, it was maybe where the merch was, a grand room with sprawling staircases, maybe like chandeliers, like almost felt like a nice theater. And I remember
was like an
standing
old bingo hall, like back in the day. Yeah,
it was the Academy 2, wasn't it? It was the upstairs in the Academy, Nick.
And I remember talking to people, like that must have been where the merch was. But yeah, it almost felt like a theater or something, just a little different. But I have a memory of like that's. I don't remember anything about playing, but I remember just standing there at the merch table talking to people.
Right.
It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. So it was for both of us. It was great to catch you guys live again, and yeah, it was definitely one of the standout sets of the weekend. And just like the hometown thing that we touched on before was just, you know, that was a nice.
Heck yeah! We're playing as a 5-piece now. We're in our first years as a 5-piece.
How are you finding that?
Only had 4 members before, and I mean, it's great to have. I always say, every time I ever saw a band that had 3 guitar players, I would always say, like, it's too much, guys. Come on. But us, I think we're making it work just right.
Yeah, it falls in the sound nicely.
No, I think so. And I wish that Corey had a microphone, because he's a great singer, certainly capable of singing harmonies. And there are chapters where we get him to sing from back there, but all 5 of us can sing, and I think that's kind of fun. So we definitely do a lot of 4-part harmonies and have moments where all, 4 of us out front are singing, and I think that that's super cool. And really just the combination of the people, like whether it's 4 or 5 people, having Trevor and Paul around is super wonderful. They're always in good moods, and I don't know, we have a good time.
I was going to say, Trevor mentioned that, you know, you're all still kind of very much working in music and production these days. I mean, what's the general kind of setup kind of in the real world outside of Punchline for you guys these days? Are you all like production guys? Like, I mean, what's the mix?
Yeah, I do a lot of event. I'll say that I do work in like event production and do a lot of After Effects and Photoshop. And it's just so funny how each guy has their specialty, kind of the path that they went down. Chris with his podcasting, Paul's become a master of video and brings the same like joy and appreciation to it as he does for music. Like, he's very much a teacher type. You know, Paul's not there in the room taking pictures of you. Paul's like showing you, what kind of settings he's using, the lens he's using, explaining, principles of photography and whatnot. It's just always kind of like been a guy like that. It's super sweet. He's definitely lit up a younger generation of musicians and, just anybody making creative kind of media. And Trev is an amazing producer and has done a lot of mixing for us, and carried a lot of the production work for us. Because I mean, that's pretty cool. Is we made our new album. We had these 2 wonderful producer friends, John Smith and John Brown, work on our album. The 2 very plainly named Johns.
Yeah.
But a lot of it was recording independently and figuring out how to make, the best songs we can, kind of not piecing it together. But I did all the vocals for the album at my house. I tracked it myself on a microphone right here. And I never really had the liberty back in the day to be able to sing a song 100 times, when you're paying, studio, when you're paying a studio rate, or, a label is paying for some big name producer, you don't have the time and to really learn how to sing it. And if with us we're not out there playing these songs, figuring out how they go from playing them every night. So I like to be able to do, literally 100 takes to figure out, what the best way to sing a song is. And that's like just really a part of the process. And what I love about making albums now is trying to make, my vocals sound good. But I'm super happy with how it came out. It seems like people like it. I really do feel like it's the strongest album reception we've had since So Nice to Meet You came out in 2012.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The one I remember the big campaign to get that in the iTunes charts at the
right,
time.
Right. Yeah, I feel like people were, I don't know, happy to receive our new album. I mean, it's feels like the great challenge of our lives to cut through the noise and really make some kind of big moment again. But it feels great to get it out there, to hear from everybody again. It's so funny. You don't put out an album for a while, and even if you're there playing shows intermittently, you kind of become a ghost in your own world. And then just putting out an album really turns people, turns their lights back on. And it's just so fun to feel like, oh, okay, we're still in this here. People are listening.
People are still interested. Yeah.
Did you? So I mean, I can't remember. This might be in the clip that we've already put out on Instagram with our chat with Chris and Trevor. It's certainly in the full interview, which will be out by the time this interview's out. But Chris talked about the fact that as you say, Steve, like you had so much time to get the vocals right and stuff. But Chris was almost a bit like, oh, it took 5 years to make this, blah blah blah. And he was a bit more of the mind like he's like, loves the record, best thing you've done, but he's like, next time we do it, I just want to go to the studio, and when we leave, we have the product. Is that do you feel like the opposite a little bit, because you're kind of saying like it's nice to have that time to work on it and perfect it, or do you kind of sympathize with him at the same time?
You can't. Yeah, there's a give and a take any which way you go. I mean, there's definitely producers I want to work with again, and I'm not married to the process that we have currently, but I think that we got a good album out of it. And I think a lot of our albums work in these kind of work in pairs where, 37 Everywhere, Paul had just left our band and we were essentially starting over, but we had to make an album, that year. And to me, Just Say Yes, the album after it, is kind of like the better 37 Everywhere. I mean, it's similar in that there's kind of like different sounding songs. It's a little less punk, but that's one of those pairs. And for this new album, I feel like with Lion, we made Lion, and that was our first more self-produced effort. And so this one was kind of improving upon that process, which a big goal of ours that we had was we wanted it to have more sonic consistency and kind of like feel like an album. Maybe Lion, we recorded in a couple of different places and didn't feel like it had that cohesion or that elevated feeling to feel like an album. I don't know. It's fun to make albums.
Okay.
I guess that's one.
I mean, that's interesting in the sense that it was written over such a long period, but the goal was for it to be that cohesive piece.
Right. I think Babies and Pandemic, and we made an hour-long music special. It's not a documentary. It's not a live concert. It's kind of like sketches and one-off like cartoon type things, and just an hour long. It's on Amazon. It's on YouTube. It's called It's the Punchline Music Special. But making that was almost like making an album. It took up so much of our time that afterwards I realized, wow, it's fun to make these things that are not albums, but I kind of want to just stick to the two things that bands should do: make albums and play shows, or make songs and play shows.
Yeah.
I guess what we were keen to do, Steve, is just maybe do a little bit of a walkthrough of the album, given it was such a long journey to get it out. Just a little bit of a walkthrough track by track.
Sure.
Are you up for maybe doing that?
Yeah. Yes. So the first song the album is called Somewhere to Land. It was produced by John Brown and mixed by John Smith, mastered by Dave Collins, and the art was by Nick Steinhardt, who he did the Jimmy Eat World album Surviving, which
nice.
that's
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Not that we were like, hey, make us an orange one too. That was the creative brief. The first song is called I Don't Want to Live in This World Anymore. And it is in the spirit of opening punchline album openers that are a little more on the dark and minor side, which is not something we ever set out to do, but it is funny how album to album there are these commonalities.
Yeah.
Like for us, like the sixth song is usually a more adventurous song for us. We'll get there, but we have a lot of album openers that are like a darker, more minor, fast song, and I Don't Want to Live in This World Anymore is like that. I really like this song because it's one of the only songs that was conceived of prior to being written. I think Chris texted me, we should have a song called I Don't Want to Live in This World Anymore. I wish I could find that text message. I'm sure I could. I don't know if it's worth the digging. People, I'm sure you believe me. It's true. So he sent me that text message. And what is funny is I went back and I looked. I do a lot of, voice memos, kind of brainstorming song ideas. And I was not immediate that I came up with any ideas for that. I through the journey of looking at voice memos, it took like 9 months before I had something that I actually stuck with. But I think I remembered that he said that, and I kept going back to it, like try to come up with something, and finally something stuck. But I remember doing a demo for that song, and I think that that song and that demo put us into like, okay, we're making a new album now. That kind of like opened the can of worms, rather than us being like, we're making a new album now. Like, what's first? It's more like a song like ignited the process. And the second song is Find Yourself, which is a song that had been released as a single previously, although I think it kind of got lost in the shuffle. Now, I had wanted Find Yourself to be the first song. It was funny how half of our camp wanted I Don't Want to Live in This World, half wanted Find Yourself. Eventually, I, not give in, but I didn't really care that much.
Right.
I think I Don't Want to Live in This World is also like, they're two of my favorite songs. This one or that one doesn't matter. So Find Yourself, I really love, and I really think it took a jump from the single version, got a remix, and I think that the new mix really took it up a notch. And for me, each album, I probably have three songs I think came out just how I wanted, two songs that are really good, and then the other songs they're great. I love them, sure, but it's usually like 4 or 5 songs for me that if I can get that out of an album, like I'm cool with that. And the first 3 tracks on this album are that for me. I mean, really the first 5, no doubt, maybe even 6. So the third, Find Yourself, I'm dying for it to be in some kind of sports compilation. I feel like it would work really well with a sports montage, but I'm not sports minded or interested, so it's going to have to be on somebody else to see that vision through. The third song is called I Will Wait, and one of my favorites. We called that song like our Gin Blossom song because it was a little more mid-tempo, not like big fast guitars. And we are buddies with the singer of the Gin Blossoms, who also sings,
really? Okay.
Yeah, he also sings for the Smithereens, and some of our guys went to see him sing for the Smithereens, and they told him, like, right when they saw him, like, hey, one of the songs on the new album, it's like our Gin Blossom song. And what I I just love Robin, how he's just always been very direct. He's like, that's awesome. I want to sing on it. Send it to me. I'll track it next week. Just like immediately, like I got to be on it. So
wow.
We sent it to him, and he did tambourine, and he did some harmonies, and he does the count into the song. I wish that we had written, or he had written, like a feature part on it, because truly some people are like, where is he on this song? But I know he's there, and he counts the song in. Like, it's very clear. If you know his voice, it's so clearly him counting in the song. So to me, I'm like, well, he's there because of that. So that was really cool to get him involved with that one. And then
that's very cool.
Heck yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, but like I just want to say on that song, because obviously you were releasing the singles prior to the record dropping, and I enjoyed the songs prior to it. I kind of like, once they're part of the album, I've kind of got them more. But this song, I Will Wait, when that one came out and I first got to the chorus, I was like, yes, this is the song,
Kind of like an any place, anytime song. It's a song that you can play anywhere at any time, and it's like such a
cool,
nice, easy listen, like whatever the moment,
Yeah, I feel like the groove in the verses reminds me of like Jenny Lewis and Rilo Kiley, which kind of more of an indie rock sound that is very much like what I would listen to outside of playing faster punk rock songs.
Okay.
And I was telling people when this album came out that I felt like historically sometimes we've served up maybe more of a curveball with a new album than people were expecting, but this one felt like safe in a good way. Like I like nowadays, like I kind of want to make what people like, not what people want, but I don't want to do anything super weird and be like, what are these guys doing? Like I love listening to them, and now they did something like super strange, and all for super strange and people being artistic and pushing the boundaries. But I don't know, like I like the challenge of like, I want to make something that people like, but also like I like and want to play. And although I Will Wait is definitely a curveball, and that it's like a slower, more like pop rock song than we've done in the past. But I'm super happy with how it came out, and Paul directed the music video and shot the music video.
Nice.
And I think we were overthinking like what kind of music video to make, and we just started kind of like shooting us playing and singing the song, and it is what it is. It's fun because it's at our practice space, and it's me walking around my neighborhood, so it feels like the setting of it is very precious to me, and I will always look at that video and say, I'm like glad that we did. A lot of music videos you recorded in a place that you never go back to.
Whereas this is more personal. What neighborhood of Pittsburgh are you in, by the way?
I live in the north side.
North side. Nick, if we I feel you pay more attention to the different areas of Pittsburgh when we go there. Like, have we been to the north side?
Lawrenceville, is that north side?
That is not north side, but it is
east.
10 minutes up the river. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it's down the river. It doesn't matter.
There's a few rivers.
Did you get a good impression of Pittsburgh?
Oh, we love Pittsburgh. Yeah, we love it. Yeah. It's a really friendly city. I think that was one thing that's really like struck us. And
I think it's a pretty friendly city. It's a pretty friendly city too.
And we really got to, I mean, we explored it a lot our first time last year, but this time we kind of, because we did the TV show, and then the Visit Pittsburgh took us around to all the spots that same day. So we really got to kind of take advantage.
Oh, did you do the PTL?
We did.
Pittsburgh Today Live?
Yeah, because originally you were going to do it with us, but then you got those hit the light states at sort of late on. So I think Adam Vallon stepped in for your place, and he
How did he do?
He did well. I think he's he's experienced in doing it because he's done it. He did it last year. I think he's done it a few times. So yeah, he did well. I think we all did well. Even
I thought it was funny being. I did it 2 years ago. And being in that TV studio, you would expect watching it at home. I would expect there to be so many more people in the crew working at the TV station. But it was like 2 people in the corner and then like a bunch of robots.
I mean, to us, it was just like, this is the most American thing we've ever been part of. Like, just the whole, the presenters and everything. Like, it was like, but that was a good experience.
Yeah, you got to be cut out for that job. You got to have the right energy. Can you imagine having to show up with that energy every day?
Yeah, imagine you having a bad morning. You've got to go there and turn on that personality. Yeah.
But you guys got to turn it on. You guys got to turn it on all the time for the podcast.
Oh, that's true. That's
true. You know, we're talking about things we're very much interested and invested in, I guess.
True.
Okay,
track 4.
We're on Tunnel Vision, which actually is probably one of my favorite tracks on the record. Nice. Mainly because of the chorus. I just think the chorus is
awesome. Cool. The chorus burned a hole in my head for like a year, just singing that chorus. And that was one I really try not to be. Sometimes the ideas that you get most attached to in the beginning, right when you think of them, sometimes even though you want them to be the song, like sometimes it just doesn't work out. And I've learned over the years, you just got to let those go. But Tunnel Vision was one that was special to me. And yeah, I feel like Chris thinks this song is like kind of basic in the way that there's a song off Action called Why Is He Right that has always been this song that was like a little too pop punk for us. Maybe like pop punk in a Blink 182 type way that we naturally.
If you're not too busy tonight, is that the chorus to Why Is He Right? Yeah, I remember that one.
And so this song, and I guess I totally see where he's coming from, but also with this song, I don't know, it just was like a very naturally written song. But I get where he's coming from, but because I agree that Why Is He Right was like a little too far in the pop punk direction for us at the time, especially like in comparison to the rest of that album. But yeah, Tunnel Vision is sweet, and it shouts out in Pittsburgh. There's a tunnel, the Fort Pitt Tunnel, and when you come into the city through the Fort Pitt Tunnel, you're in suburbia, you're on a highway, there's trees around you, and then you go through this tunnel and you come out and you are in the city of Pittsburgh, and it just hits you, and there's the skyline and the three rivers coming together and the stadiums, and it's truly, I mean, it's got to be one of the coolest ways to enter an American city.
Just before we came last year, which was our first time, Rishi was talking about that, and he's like, "You'll be in an Uber from the airport, and you'll be going through that tunnel. He's like, put on your favorite song, just to get ready to press play before you come through." And like so we had that moment.
Oh, that's sweet that he set the stage with that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next time we'll do Tunnel Vision when we're coming through next year.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Nice. Yeah. Track 5 is another one. And Chris sings another one. I have been saying this from the beginning. This is the best Chris song of all time. I think that this song, like something about the recording, I think because we recorded this one a little more properly, we did pre-production in the studio and we did drums, bass, guitars, and the vocals with the producers. Whereas like some of the other stuff was maybe a little less supervised.
Okay.
And because of that, this song, something about the recording is just like super like clean in a good way. Like there's a lack of noise. I don't know. It's just punchy punchline. And this song, I think this has got to be one of the like most fan favorites. Really interesting to see what songs stick with people, because sometimes I worry a lot in 2025 about don't put a song deep in the record if you want people to hear it. Like, it's such a risky thing. And I really feel like that drives a lot of what's going up front on albums, especially like in the first couple tracks. So another one was the first song that people could hear when the album came out that was not previously released. And yeah, I'm excited to play it live. I texted Chris the other day. I was listening to it. We haven't played it live yet, but I was listening to it. I'm like, man, I hope he can play and sing this beat. Well, you know, sing and play it at the same time. Because sometimes you write stuff and then you go to play it live and you're like, I should have, you know, stood up and played this. But he said, no, I got it. So
if you've got three guitarists, maybe you can stand down and just do vocals.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, he's bass though, isn't he, Chris?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. What else we got? Track 6, Get Me Out.
Oh, Get Me Out.
For one of the only songs we have that it changes the time signature in the chorus. It switches from 4/4 in the verse to 6/8 in the chorus, which is kind of fun. It's I think it's the only Punchline song that has slide guitar on it. And this song, I got the program Ableton and was learning how to use that and came up with ideas for this song by learning how to use that program. But it was a kind of a different way of writing and approaching a rock song, just by way of how that program works and, you know, presents like arranging a song. So there's something to me super unique about this song that I attribute to like arranging it in Ableton and being new to that program. The second chorus on this song, which is like a down chorus, it's a little quieter, is one of my favorite moments on the album. And this song, I don't know, feels like a very punchline song to me. Now, the 7th song, Whichever Way the Wind Blows,
which I believe was Trevor's favorite song on the record when we asked.
Yes, and this song, interview. Once we started sending it around after the record was after it was out, like already ordered and the vinyl was being pressed, a lot of people were like, what are you doing putting this at track 7? Like, this needs to be up front. And we're like, well, it's too late for that. But you know, I can't tell. Also, now that it's out, I don't feel like there's been as many people gravitating towards that one. But anyways, like, it's so fresh. And another thing you learn after putting out so many albums is that sometimes, like a lot of times, you have to wait 5 years to really get a sense for how your fans or fan base or listeners have, you know, taken a liking to an album, because a lot of our albums that just seemed no one cared about when it came out later on are like very common favorites for us. And I don't know, I do appreciate that while I wish we had one like really big giant song that, you know, made us well off enough to just go into recording studios and make music and never have to worry about money again.
Yeah.
You know, I do appreciate that every album is someone's favorite Punchline album, and every song like is someone's favorite Punchline song. You know, maybe it would be cooler to have the other way and everyone's like, no, it's definitely that one. But does seem like we have a little something for everyone, and I appreciate that. Whichever Way the Wind Blows, something about that is like, there's something, if I can compare us to the Beatles, I'm like always a Beatles kid, man, a Beatles grown man at the end of the day. But I don't know, something that I attribute to, you know, Rubber Soul or those kinds of like Baroque pop. I really like how that feels. And track 8 is, which one is that? Darkest Dark. Yes. Yeah. So Darkest Dark to me never got, even though we made a music video for it, even though we played it into the ground, it just to me always felt like something that really resonated in our group, but not as much, like was not reflected as much in our listeners. And so I kind of thought that there was still some life left in that, and made the case to the rest of the band, and they agreed. And we did some, we like retracked about half of it and had a total remix. And I'm so happy that it's a part of the album.
Yeah. Has the reception been any different since you did all that? Because I mean, I love that track. It's like kind of probably top 4.
Oh, cool.
On that record.
You know what's funny is I forgot that Sean O'Keefe, who produced some of our earlier albums, and he did like Fall Out Boy, Take This to Your Grave, a lot of Motion City soundtrack, but he mixed the Darkest Dark version on Lion, and I didn't realize that. I don't know, you work with a lot of people, and Mark McCluskey, another producer that we've worked with a ton, he mixed the rest of Lion except for that one song. But I just remembered that the other day that he did that. But for this album, there's like a new mix, and half of it. Do
you think it fits better in? Do you think it fits better in here, like as a song, like in this record?
Yeah, I think so. I think that this album feels more like a rock album. I don't know, something about Lion. Just like I said, I love, you know, a handful of songs off of it, but to me, this one is like, feels like the first Punchline album where there's not like a song that really like slows down and changes the feel of it. And this just feels like upbeat, fast, 2.5 to 3 minute long songs.
Yeah.
I mean, I've said that to Chris. It's like an album that I like quite happily play all the way through. And
that's so cool.
You know what I mean? And you
that's
don't get
cool.
Many records like that these days.
Heck yeah.
So yeah.
Track 9 is the title track, Somewhere to Land. And this song we are really proud of because it came a really long way from kind of a rough around the edges demo to being the title track. And that guitar riff that opens it up was something I was holding on to for a while. And at one point, the chorus like got totally changed, and the concept, like lyrical concept, got changed to this oblivious concept. And it has the bridge of this song, something, I don't know. Sometimes bridges, you know, you spend a lot of time coming up with the chorus, or like really invest in this, you know, I've come up with all these ideas, but there's this one chorus. But then for the bridge, you'll be like, let's roll the dice and just see what comes out today. And so like, it's this marriage of something that you've like thought so much about, and then a bridge, you're like, let's make this a creative exercise and see what comes out. And that bridge, I remember like just kind of playing around with it and being happy with how it came out. Like, oh, that's interesting enough. Like, I'm interested in that enough to keep moving on. Corey's drum parts in it. I mean, this album, the way that Corey's drum parts are, like, you almost like sing along to them, and like the nuance and how he's always doing something different. I just have a lot of appreciation for my bandmates and how good they are at their instruments. And I always say, like, you can't sleep in this band. You know, every time I show up, everyone is just so sharp and always like has a new gadget, or like learn something new, or like wants to try something different. And it's great that you can't just like slouch and get by, I feel like. So I've got a lot of admiration for my band members, which brings us to the last song, which we all sing on. It's called Focus on Yourself. And this is another more Chris driven song, and also getting a very good reaction on this song. Also, I say that this is like these two Chris songs on this album, I mean, which he's like very much a part of writing all the songs, but these are like my two favorite like Chris songs. And I love the message on this. I will say, had I had my way and had Find Yourself been the first track, Find Yourself first song, Focus on Yourself last song, I thought that would have been cool for a conceptual sandwich. The moment that you finish an album is always the moment where you're like in the best shape to start another album, because you're at the end of the journey, and while you're tired, like you have the best sense of how to put together all of the pieces, and like being excited about it usually like brings about a new wave of ideas. So I'm like very, very excited about like getting going with the next one, and already passing around ideas. And it's kind of an exciting time for us, as much as we're this far into our career, putting out our 10th album, being a band for more than 25 years. It's a cool time having. We made a podcast called A Band Called Punchline.
Yeah.
And each episode goes through one of our albums. If you don't know our band, and you would be so kind to give it a listen, a lot of people have said, I don't know your band, but I like music related and music documentary related, and pop punk related, or like of that time, early 2000s. And we go through each album, and it talks a lot about the climate of the band, us learning our way. This album, we have a manager, it didn't go so well, we're trying this other manager, and so on. And at the time, I think people were way more used to, or it's way more common now for people to just speak about the whole process like in real time as it's happening, because that behind the scenes stuff is interesting. But for us to be able now to go back and like tell you what really happened is really has been rewarding. But the biggest thing is that just even getting us all talking to each other again, and with the old band members, it's been very therapeutic, to be very honest. Like hearing like, oh wow, like he feels like he messed up too. Like maybe I was taking like I was putting all the pressure on myself for like that not going so well. And those little like how all of that has played out has really just brought us together, like closer together as a group, and put us in a special place in 2025, if I can say so myself.
Beautiful. And if you could go back and redo an era of Punchline from yesteryear, like a tour or like a period, what would you go and do again if you could pick one?
I think
the
thing that jumps to mind is it was tough. It was really tough for us when Paul had a drug problem and left the band pretty tumultuously. I feel like we didn't know how to handle it, and we were just pedal to the metal until the the wheel just like snapped off and popped off, which is a personal experience I'm speaking from, when like I was driving the van and there was a problem, and I'm like, I'm just gonna keep driving it, and the sound got worse, and eventually like the wheel flew the wheel shot off. But it was very much like that, and I wish that we had felt like, and it really was, it was a fast moving time, and we were like in the moment of our career. But I wish that we had been able to be like, it sucks that he's wants to leave, and we have tours and we have plans, and we're like in the middle of our record deal. But I wish that we could have just been like, let's pause for 6 months and like try to come back or see what happens. But it just, I think the momentum of it all, and had been trying to help him, and and like having no idea what to do, but like trying things that, like looking back, I was really just like, as much as I was trying to help, I was really just like flailing, and some stuff worked and some didn't. But that's more about like how we handled that, like with our friend, is probably the biggest thing. And I mean, there's other things. I think that at a certain point, we got really, really worn out, and maybe we like dialed it back a little too much. And when we came back with the next album, like it wasn't as much of a touring effort. And in a way that's kind of like, I don't know, you dial that effort back, you're not taking as many chances. Maybe there's not as much of a chance as like something bigger happening. So I just like definitely urge people to be persistent. And the I meet so many people who ask me, or, like everybody wonders, like, does this person have what it takes to like make it, or how far could this person go, which comes from like a very like real place of I just love what we do, and think some people are like, it's amazing to me when someone's making a song in their house, and like that song could become the biggest song in the world, like something that they made just like out of love, like on their own time. It's super fascinating, super cool. But I tell people, like, yes, you could go do it, but only if you go and do it and you give it the time. Like, in this day and age, you're only going to make it if like the time commitment is just it's time and it's money, but like it's really time. Time is the big one.
Yeah. How do you see the next year going for Punchline? How's that looking for you?
We got a new booking agent, which is very fun, and we haven't had a booking agent in a while. So
Nice.
That's pretty exciting in terms of some tours and some more festivals. So I think 2026 will see us playing more shows than the last couple years, which is exciting. He kind of just came on board. So while I wish we could be out there like right now, while the album is fresh, I've learned to be a little more patient. And we're setting our sights on the spring, and we are going to finish more of our podcast. We are talking about some more music videos for Somewhere to Land, and kind of want to get out another B-sides collection. I don't know. We have a lot of songs that could be put together in another collection. We had this one B-sides album called Nightlights that's from, I think, 2008.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I don't know, a bunch of the random stuff, 37 Everywhere demos, some action demos, mostly like 2004 to 2007 or 8 stuff. Well, it's been a long time since 2008. So we have like a lot of stuff that could be packaged together that I'm sure a lot of people would hear and just like take it as another album. And that's kind of cool. So we're cooking that up and hopefully starting the next album or finishing it.
Full steam ahead.
I have a new reissue. Well, for the first time ever on vinyl, I'm releasing with TDR Records the Blue of Colors album, which is like my solo project.
Yes.
The first album that I did. So I've done 2 full-length albums, and the first one was called Small Little Pieces. It came out in 2013, but we're printing it on vinyl, and it's really beautiful. It's actually
very cool,
already printed and already ready to ship, which is something as a musician I really love. When we can do that, make it so that like people can order it and they get it right, get it next week or something. That's super fun. So I hope people will check that out. That's like a little more indie rock, and I'm super proud of that album. I love how it came out. It was a special time in my life making music with my friend Harrison. He produced it. My friend John played guitar, and had a bunch of people in my world that I was making music with at the time, kind of serving this other side of creation that's, I don't know, don't always want to make like rock music, or don't always want to make punk rock. So so I hope everybody can check that out. I would appreciate it so much.
Yeah, of course. Go and check it out.
Heck yeah.
Go and check it out now. Yeah, Steve, we've taken an hour of your time, so I think we can probably wrap this up, unless you have.
Cool. I feel like I've talked a lot. Is there anything that you want to say?
I mean that's kind of the intention, so don't worry about that. But no, we both love the new record. I think for me as well, it's just for like an aging pop punk rock band, it just kind of hits that balance for me of just like something that's really easy listening. I mean, Chris is very well connected to the new pop punk bands coming through the scene these days. I am less so. So this album's just, I think, just like perfect for me. It just hits.
Cool. Is there
hits
anyone that is like newer school that you think we'd fit well with?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, do you pay attention to newer bands in this world? Firstly,
I think I do more from like the touring, like from who's touring.
Yeah. Yeah, I
You can
mean,
get back to me.
yeah, I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you. But like, you would work. I think like Punchline would work well, even like with the driveways or something on tour. Even though you sound very different,
Oh,
I
nice.
think you'd pick up a lot of fans from
that.
them.
That's kind of funny because I think we have something. Cooking with them actually.
Oh, hello. Okay,
but they're popping off right now though. Then I think they're just gonna just keep going. To be honest with you, they're all teachers as well. Two of them are teachers, aren't they? So it's like,
oh, cool.
They're like growing and growing, still working around their school schedule, and it's like,
I feel like we get a lot. I feel like we get a lot at shows lately. People say like, "You guys are." It's like pop punk, but like it's also like not in that world. And to me, like that's what I'm trying to do. Like as far as any of my contributions to the band is, I think there came a point where it's kind of interesting. When we started touring and we were playing, so like we're opening for Less Than Jake and we're playing with Fall Out Boy. And then, we started headlining more shows. And then eventually, like the next group, like the next generation of bands, like the bands that are like 5 years younger, they come along and like kind of take it to a new place. And I remember like when that first happened, how like uncomfortable that was, because it was like, wait, this is ours. Like, I thought this was always going to be ours. But then like that next group comes along. And so, over time, it's just this, these evolving chapters. And I think there came a point where I'm like, got kind of like pushed away from pop punk and, my musical taste evolved and what I want to listen to. But then like this newfound love for like, well, that's cool. Like make music in that space that you want to hear. Like, yeah, you don't like it. Well, you don't have to write music you don't like, but make something that makes sense that like can be in that world. So that feels like has been the trajectory, and people telling us like, yeah, it's like something different. That's like gives me a lot of excitement for where we're going with the next album, and like always chasing it, always on the hunt.
Cool. Well, you'll have to let us know when things are starting to come together on that front with the next set of music, even though the new album's only been in the world for what, 7 weeks.
Sure.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
But cool, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. And Steve, we're always up for doing stuff with you guys. Like Chris also mentioned, he's keen for doing stuff in the future. So, whenever you want to do it, even if it's just a small thing that makes sense, just always reach out.
A weekend getaway. Hopefully I'll be seeing you soon.
Nice one.
Yeah,
cheers,
definitely.
Steve.
Yeah, stay in touch as always, Steve. Thank you.